guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm going to do a bit more of an editorial look again. So ages ago I was recommended to try a certain shade from the Lily Low mineral eyeshadows. So as you know, I really love them. My favourite is probably Pixie Sparkle at the moment. And I was told that the golden lilac was a really beautiful colour and that I should try it out. And I purchased it and I just haven't got around to actually playing with it yet. So I really want to play with it, do a kind of classic editorial winged graphic liner thing, which I really enjoy. But I wanted to see, because I do like to experiment with these, you know, I've done a few Lily Low hacks, I've done the whole mixing of different shades together to create a new shade, and I wanted to see kind of what the colour difference was if I added a black liner underneath and then pat this on top, because usually that gives like a slightly different shade to it and makes it a bit more intense. So I'm going to do the classic, like I said, editorial graphic liner wing thing that I really love doing, but one side's going to have a black base to it, the other's just going to be how I would normally do it. It's just to see if there is like a difference in the colours and things like that. So yeah, I've got the shade Golden Lilac. I'm really sorry, I can't remember the person who has this and said that I should try it. If it was you, please leave me a comment down below, but I can't. It was such a long time ago that I just can't remember. So I should have opened this up before starting. So I'm just going to start with the base first. Again, this base is going to be very boring because it's kind of my usual little routine that I have going. I'm going to first of all put my Hint Beauty concealer in light as my foundation and also my concealer. I'm just going to go ahead and set the T-zone slightly with my Hunts & Pure powder. Okay, then I haven't used this product for ages, and it's the Maya Chia highlight of the day. Highlight, yeah, glowing highlight. I've got my shade, the Golden Hour is my shade that I've got. So it's like I was trying to find a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Clean Beauty wise, and this is the closest that I've definitely come to. I still think that I gravitate towards my Charlotte Tilbury more. I don't know why, because this is beautiful, but I don't think it's quite replaced. I don't think it's going to replace my Charlotte Tilbury just yet. So I'm just going to pop some like this and use the brush to buff in. It's definitely very beautiful, very glowy, blends lovely on skin. But I don't know why, just for some reason I still just gravitate towards the Charlotte Tilbury a lot more. I think I've put quite a bit on. I wasn't meant to put that much on. Luckily I'm going in with bronzer next, so it should reduce that shine just a little. So going in with Hint Beauty Concealer in Deep to act as my bronzer for today. This should help further blend that highlight in, because like I said, I've picked up a bit too much. But actually it's going to work quite nicely with the editorial look that I'm going to do today, so not all is lost. For blusher, I'm going to try to use one of my old ones. So this is the Make Me Blush by B. I know it's powder, but I'm just going to stipple this on top. It's also going to help set some of that cream product a little bit as well. I'm going to layer up my eye with eye primer. As I mentioned before, with these mineral eyeshadows, they need that tacky base. You can of course go in and wet the brush and do it that way, but I find it's so much nicer just making sure that the base is fully laid and tacky. Okay, so I'm excited to try this colour out. I'm going to do the side first without the black base underneath, just to see what the colour is like by itself. Got it packed in there. Just going to coat the brush with this. Make sure I tap off slightly so I don't get too much fallout. Okay, so I'm guessing I'm gonna do this eye then. Start laying this down. It's a very cool toned colour. It's got quite an icy feel about it. Icy frosted feel. Maybe I'll let you zoom in a bit closer so you can see the colour. So it's patting this in first, laying it down. It's the best way to do it. And I tend to go back in with the concealer brush just to neaten up the shape of it. So I'm not too worried about the shape right now. But that's a really pretty colour. Like I said, it's quite a cool tone, purple, and that well, it's lilac obviously, but that goldenness adds a kind of like frosty, icy feel to it. I think it's a really pretty colour. If my camera wants to focus. Okay, now I'm going to neaten it up. So actually, I'm going to take a smaller brush for this portion, and all I'm going to do is actually take my eye primer, because then it'll blend nicely into what's going on. And I'm just going to use it and just start shaping it. I find it easier to begin with just going in one kind of movement to get the shape, and then going in and kind of sorting out that way. And I also find using the eye primer, because it's less coverage than a concealer, you get less of like a harsh distinction between, like just it makes it softer, I think. Definitely need to add some more onto outer V because it's slightly disappearing. Go back with a smaller brush and just manipulate the shadow into the shape that I want. Well, I'm actually going to go in with the brow pomade from Nabla in Ebony as my base. It's kind of the only cream. Actually, I've got my Depixum things, but I think this might work quite well, because obviously I still want something tacky to get that shadow to stick. I'm going to lay this down, and then what I'll do is I'll take my eye primer and neaten it up and try and match the other eye, although trying to get them exact may not happen because my eyes aren't the same. But if I can get a kind of shape going. The edges up first, I find that easiest. And then go in and try and match, although it's not too bad. I mean, it's going to be very obvious because one's going to have a dark base, one isn't, and if it comes out darker, then it's going to look different anyway. Let's just see. So I'm going to go back to the brush that I use the shadow on for this eye. Pick some of this up and lay it on top. I'm definitely being a lot more careless with this eye because the fallout on my cheek is ridiculous. I'm just going to ignore that for now. Okay, so ignore kind of they're not particularly the same shape. I think I actually prefer the shape of this eye. But in terms of colours, I wouldn't say it gives too much of a difference. Obviously this one's come up deeper. I feel like it's also made it slightly more metallic maybe than this side. and I guess made it more obvious in terms of the graphic line a bit, because this one kind of does look like it's starting to fade into the eye, whereas this one's a bit more of a defined line because I got that black underneath. But I'd say, yeah, it's more metallic, so almost the golden comes through, I think, a bit more with the black underneath. But I don't know, which one do you prefer? I think they work perfectly fine both ways. Do you know what, actually I think I prefer it with the black base underneath, thinking about it. Okay, and that is this look complete. So I just finished off with the Lily Lolo Lip Gloss in Whisper. This is one of my favourites. I did put a little bit of excess concealer on my lips just because I wanted that kind of nudie lip to go with this eyes. I think it would suit well. So I'm really happy I was recommended to try this colour out. Like I said, it's a really beautiful colour, different to what I've got in my collection. I really enjoy it. I purposely wanted to do an editorial look, and I purposely wanted to do this kind of editorial look just to see what the colour was like. It kind of really shows off the colour. This obviously would work really nicely with like a cool tone brown smoky eye, I think. And I wouldn't say there's too much difference between having like a black base and a normal base. I'd say it just adds a bit more deepness with this, and I think it shows off the golden metallic in it a little bit more than this side. But yeah, I really like it. I do enjoy the Lily Lolo mineral eyeshadows. I think we all know that, so it's just nice to add to the collection. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. It wasn't anything too exciting. I just wanted to play around with that, and like I said, I love this kind of editorial look. So I really do hope you enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Leave any requests for future videos down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.